Hey class, Mr. Mouse here, and today you're going to be learning about spreadsheets. This is actually one of my favorite topics to teach on, and I'm going to enjoy it. So I hope you will too. Now, a spreadsheet is an arrangement of cells which are aligned in columns and rows. It kind of looks like a sheet of blank graph paper. And people typically use spreadsheets to organize information, to analyze, to calculate, and also to report some types of information. And if a person is using a spreadsheet, a lot of times they're using it to calculate numbers of some sort, a lot of numbers. Now, a workbook, you see, is a file that contains one or more spreadsheets. So basically, when you go to create a spreadsheet, whether it be in Google Sheets or in Microsoft Excel, it's going to open up what is called a workbook. So, for example, you see here we have a blank spreadsheet, and we're also able to create multiple spreadsheets within this particular workbook. And the same goes for Microsoft Excel, which we'll be learning to use Microsoft Excel. And Microsoft Excel is like the OG spreadsheet software. All business professionals have been using Microsoft Excel for a very long time. And you can see here when we open up the software, it says create a blank workbook. So within this workbook is how we're able to create multiple spreadsheets. And a lot of times these multiple spreadsheets are related in some kind of way. And then there's other times where it's just one spreadsheet that you'll need. But it's important that you understand that a workbook is a file that contains one or more spreadsheets. Now, some reasons spreadsheets are used, uh, family reasons, of course, and business reasons. So, a lot of times, families use spreadsheets to do their budget and to calculate other types of finances. Businesses can use spreadsheets to do payroll, to calculate financial statements, and many other things. Teachers can use spreadsheets to keep up with grades. Thankfully, we have Canvas and PowerSchool now, so we don't necessarily have to do that. But these are some of the reasons why and how spreadsheets are used. Now, I mentioned earlier that a spreadsheet kind of looks like a blank sheet of graph paper. And each of those squares within the spreadsheet is called a cell. And the cell is the individual location of that spreadsheet. And each of these cells are arranged in a group of columns, which are identified by numbers, and a group of rows, which are identified by letters. Now, when you, excuse me, now when you bring those two together, like the column and the row, you'll get what is called the cell address. All right. And that is the specific location of the cell. And each cell has its own cell address. And if you click on that particular cell, it is referred to as an active cell. All right. Now, when a cell is active, you can put information into it. So you can type some text, or you can type some numbers, or you can type some equations. So that's what an active cell is. Now, there's going to be a lot of times where you have to group a bunch of cells together, and that would be referred to as a cell range. All right. And that cell range begins with the very first cell, and then it ends with the last cell. And this is an example of a cell range address. And that is the basics of spreadsheets. See you in the next video.